I think your father will be very pleased with these arrangements.
Didn't you think he had nice eyes?
Who? Your papa?
You know very well I didn't mean papa.
You meant Mr. Bell, then.
Of course I meant Mr. Bell.
Oh, I thought he looked all right.
All right? Oh, Mary, his voice is the first voice that I've ever really wanted to hear. Do you think he'll like me even though I...
Yes, May. It will make him like you 10 times as much.
But he won't feel sorry for me. I don't want that.
He won't.
All right. Then I'm going to marry him.
What?
I'm going to marry him. I knew it the very first time I saw him. When I was standing, looking out the window, and he was down, standing on our doorstep. I just knew it right then and there.
But what about your papa?
Oh, I don't care what Papa says. I'll just close my eyes and I won't be able to see a thing he says. Plus, Papa shouldn't know yet. No one should know yet, Mary. Only you.
But you know how I am with secrets. I'll just die if I can't tell.
But you won't tell this. Promise me you won't tell this.
I promise. But only if you promise to tell me everything he says and does.
All right, I promise.
Well, May, it's bedtime for me. I'll check on your sister so you won't have to.
There's a certain someone waiting for me, waiting to help me along. There's a certain someone singing to me a love song. Will I ever find him, meet him face to face? If we meet, will he disappear, go without a trace? There's a certain someone, who can he be? Will my heart ever know? There's a certain someone calling out to me. Guess I'll have to wait and see. Alexander, are you for me? Alexander. I liked watching him speak. His voice must be of a very gentle quality. Himself, I did not like. I do not think him exactly a gentleman. I make a distinction between a gentleman of substance and a gentleman of means, between a lawyer and an ordinary teacher. And as for his clothes, they were absolutely frightful. For one thing, they didn't fit. And as for his manners, well, he had the nerve to call me little lady. I could never marry a man like that. There's a certain someone, who can he be? Will my heart ever know? There's a certain someone calling out to me. Guess I'll have to wait and see.
No, May. The sound is B, as if you were blowing a feather away from your lips. Now let's try it again. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Berta.
Berta.
Boston baked beans.
Boston baked beans.
Very good. Now this one's a little harder. Boston baked beans, baked brightly brown.
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 Boston baked beans, the best around.
Boston baked beans, the best to be found.
Baked 150 centigrade.
Better than homemade lemonade.
I like mine with tomato sauce.
Mine with molasses poured across.
Boston baked beans baked brightly brown.
Boston baked beans baked brightly brown.
Boston baked beans the best around.
Boston baked beans the best to be found.
If you don't mind, May, I'd like to get back to your lesson. Boston baked beans, baked brightly brown.
Mama, I think I'm old enough, now that I'm 17, to know if he spoke about it to you and Papa. He has tried to address the matter with me on many occasions, but he is so painfully shy, and I'm as yet still unsure of what to do when the matter arises.
Why, Mr. Bell, you have given me the greatest of surprises. For little did I think that May would ever marry. But the age difference is the question here. May's 8 years younger than you, and is still too young to enter society. Wait a year, and if you still feel the same, you have my permission to ask Mr. Hubbard.
I took Mrs. Hubbard's advice. I waited the year.
Why, Mr. Bell, I consider Mabel such a child that if Mrs. Hubbard hadn't said 1 year, I would have said 2. I urge you to put your thoughts of May aside for a year or 2. Become a sensible man, for your thoughts are very divided. Firstly, we have a business agreement regarding your experiments on the multiple telegraph, and you have not completed your part in this. I'm sorry to see how little interest you seem to be taking in these matters. Secondly, you're spending far too much time on this telephone fantasy. Thirdly, your frenzy for teaching confirms your tendency to jump from one enthusiasm to the next with reckless abandonment, and you end up accomplishing nothing of value to anyone.
I know I'm not worthy of her, sir.
Once again, you jump from one enthusiasm to the next.
But Mr. Hubbard, I clearly told you and asked for your permission when we made our financial agreement to continue working on with my telephone experiments. You cannot hold that against me now.
You can waste your own time if you please, but the sooner you stop wasting my money, the better.
I will not give this up. I can't.
Admit your telephone scheme is a sheer fantasy. Suspend all work on this useless invention and settle down with your visible speech classes in earnest. Or disaview any intention of marrying my Mabel.
If May should come to love me as devotedly as I love her, then she will not object to my telephone experiments or in any work in which I engage myself, as long as it is honorable and profitable. If she does not come to love me enough to accept me, whatever my profession may be, then I do not want her at all. I do not want a half-love, and if that is the way it is to be, then I can safely say, fini.
Beans! How much longer do I have to continue with this stupid exercise?
I think that's all we'll do for today. Tomorrow I want you to report to Miss Locke for your lesson.